She told you. I've learned that myself. Okay, so what's going on here? Right? What's going on here? You go in the car. You tell your woman to go in the car. Because I'm telling you what he's trying to do. He's trying to play Captain Saver for her. You go in the car, let me talk to him. What's going on here? What happened? You'll get her side inside. Well, she's arguing me about these chips. She want to pay these chips and all that stuff. How much are the goddamn chips? Chips are this. All right. You live for another day. But of course, when you're trying to show off in front of a woman to get some cool points, you get eliminated. And there's so many black men out there right now in prison, right now in jail, right now doing all sorts of things without their lives, without their futures, beleaguered, on trial, all for emotional decision trying to make somebody happy. And the reality,
it's not that though. I don't know why you are always trying to think it's some woman. I know you have issues with women, but you can't blame all your crimes on women. You just can't. Some people like that situation have a long history of criminal behavior and activity. So if that's the case, then you can't really expect that this person is not going to commit more crime in the future and during the present. And so if there's a situation that arises where they can commit crime, best believe they will. And in this case, it's just good that that's the last time he'll ever try to attempt to do such a thing, because he's no longer on this earth. And he wasn't even able to actually hurt the store clerk that badly, thankfully. So, we should be happy about the results of the situation. You shouldn't be angry at anyone. If anything, you should be angry at, I guess, for sure, is the fact that the woman is still around and she stabbed him. If you stab somebody, there's no way you should just be walking among the general public without any penalties. You should be arrested. You should be doing some type of time. Honestly, stabbing someone can actually result in someone actually dying. So, that in itself is kind of an attempt to murder. So, someone who's capable of murder should not be just running the streets. But, you shouldn't have any sympathy for either of those individuals. They were in the process of committing a crime, of seriously attacking, possibly killing a store clerk. And he was able to defend himself and save his life. So we should just be happy he's safe. You shouldn't be crying over a criminal who's no good for society. Continue.
is that this person ain't even worth it. Ain't even worth it. So many black men lose a lot of potential, a lot of future over nothing. Dudes, brothers get either kill people or get killed because their sister went out and started something with somebody else. A lot of these gang wars that start happen over women. When men, if they were actually in their strong points, they just talk it out. Now, if there's violence that needs to be had, of course, there's situations where
when politicians came for our right to abortion, they thought we'd just back down. They were wrong.
Go
actually
ahead.
in their strong points, they just talk it out. Now, if there's violence that needs to be had, of course, there's situations where sometimes somebody need to get their ass whooped. I understand, okay, or you have to fight it out or whatever. It may come to that sometimes. It comes to that in wars. Sometimes you have no choice but to fight. But
like I said, you are clearly in the same mindset as those criminal-minded individuals. And so that's why you think that violence should be warranted over chips. Or anything for that matter. People like you, honestly, are not really safe for the general public. That's just the fact of the matter. If you think that situation with that guy who attacked that store clerk was warranted, or you feel any sympathy for the guy who basically tried to hurt the store clerk, your mindset is completely wrong, and honestly, you seem a little dangerous yourself. Continue.
It's not necessary. Usually things can be resolved. And usually when you can get men outside of, some spectators in the crowd or women in the crowd, you get those guys behind closed doors, you can solve a lot of problems in the black community, in any community. But when you're out there, having somebody using you as a goddamn attack dog, yeah, good luck on that. So you have this young brother who is 35. That's a young man. He's a young man. Okay? He's a young man. A lot to live for. He's going. Over what? Some Lay's? Some Fritos?
But you have to understand, if he wasn't gone for that, he'd be gone for something else. Just like this. Like I said, he obviously did not care about breaking the law. He broke it at the drop of a hat. And that was his general practice. He was a career criminal. It's not really a shock that he turned to violence to resolve a situation of trying to buy chips he couldn't afford. When he's a career criminal, and that's what he does. Continue.
Some Cheetos? And number one, boo, how come you don't have enough money to buy a bag of chips? Like, shouldn't that tell you something that you're kind of dusty? You don't even have enough money to buy a bag of chips. You don't have enough money for that for yourself. That is embarrassing. How dumb and dusty can you be? You can't even get a bag of chips. I would be ashamed of myself. You'll be the last person to be able to talk about any goddamn thing. Just shut up. You don't even have a bag of chips. You are the guy. Imagine your woman can't buy a bag of chips because you ain't got enough cash. How dusty can y'all be? Extremely broke. And now this guy, who defended himself, has to go to jail. It's amazing.
He shouldn't go to jail, though, and that's why the charges were dropped. Well, not why, but rightfully so, the charges were dropped, because he didn't commit a crime of any sort. The only people who committed crimes was the woman who stabbed him and the guy who is dead, because they both were actually threatening his life, so it's basically self-defense. And most people could recognize that. Only vengeful people were trying to change the story and try and make it out to be where he had to spend time in jail because they were angry that a criminal died. It's a part of their voting block. But anyway.
All I gotta say is thank God I don't live in the ghetto anymore. Guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of...
I think it's quite obvious. It's a very simple story. There were some criminal-minded individuals who were upset they couldn't buy chips and resorted to crime because that's what they normally do in their life. Crime is a normal part of their life. Well, that day, crime costs their life. And that's thankfully a good thing. There's one less criminal in this world, and one less criminal terrorizing people, store clerks, and other victims in his past don't have to worry about him anymore. So that's all I really think about that situation. There's nothing to be sad about besides the fact that some people were vengeful and trying to put the victim, in jail when he didn't do anything but defend himself. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.